life lesson fables, spiritual fables that I wrote. Many of them when I was living aboard a sailboat with the first two of our children, and the rest when we moved back to land and had to wrestle with the transition from sea life to land life. And right now I'm the news editor for something called Waterway Guide. And so every day it's my job to find answers and news for boaters who are out there trying to navigate their way right now through COVID-19 to find marinas and safe havens and harbors and places that will accept them. Some are stuck out there. So I'm dedicating tonight's session to all of those who are still at sea, who are looking at the same sun setting that I'll be reading about tonight, dealing with the same ocean. And I've tagged Walt Taylor in tonight because Walt, just seeing you on my live stream, reminded me of this first story, and I'm going to do this one for you, although I will give the caveat that I do believe that Walt Taylor is entirely fox-proof. So the first story is from Tell Me a Story. It's the very first book I ever wrote, and The Painter and the Fox. So here we go. Each morning, Art arose in darkness. He'd fumble around his small studio and find a match and light a candle. Then he'd look directly into the flame and he would clear his mind of all thoughts. That is when the colors would come into his mind, and quickly he snatched up his brushes and paint and he set to work on the broad canvas that was the sky. Art was a sunrise painter, hired by the universe to decorate the mornings of all time. Some mornings he would look into the flame and see just a few strains of rose and gold feathering their way up from the horizon. Other times he would see miles of umber, yellows, and bold red. Sometime it would come out all in silvery white with just a hint of pale gold. Art loved painting the sunrise, for it gave him great satisfaction to start everyone's day off with beauty. It also gave him his days and his evenings free. One particularly bright and colorful morning, Art was sitting on the grass enjoying the fruits of his labors. "Oh, nice one," said a sharp voice at his elbow. It was the fox. His pointy countenance was creased in a sly smile. He looked Art up and down. Oh, it's a shame. It's a shame that you give us such beautiful sunrises while the sunsets have been just so terribly drab of late. Had they? Art had not noticed any lack of flair in the fading of light that came with the day's end. "You know," the fox continued, "I heard that you were due for promotion. The universe is humming your name, my boy. Everyone loves your work." Art, a fellow of few words, only smiled. It was good to know that he'd pleased so many people. "Of course, I realize that you have a problem," Fox said. "You are, of course, only one person, and painting both sunrise and sunset is perhaps more than you can handle alone. What you need is an assistant, someone to get out there and beat the bushes for new ideas, let you know what the people really want in their light." This sparked Art's interest. "What people want?" he asked. "I don't understand." Okay, I just look into my candle and I see the colors that I'm to paint." Oh, the fox barked with laughter. Ooh, this boy really was a babe in the woods. It was a wonder that he'd secured any position at all. "Oh, my boy, my dear boy," the fox said. "Let me take you in hand. Now, you just sign this paper here, and here, yes, and I will become your manager and assistant, and together we will rule the world." Art did not wish to rule anything. All he needed was his work and the satisfaction of a job well done. But still, Fox seemed to know a great deal about life and the universe. Art had never considered what people might want. Perhaps there were people he was displeasing. That would be terrible. And so it was that Art signed his deal with Fox and became the painter of both the sunrise and the sunset. It was a heady time for the young man. He worked nearly round the clock. He barely took time to eat or sleep, and Fox did just as he had proposed, and he came to him with many new ideas. Bolder colors, Fox suggested. More contrast. Ooh, green, Fox said one day. You know, you never use green or black. And now that would really be new. Go on, my boy. Use this new palette that I've brought you in these lovely electric lights. The fluorescent bulbs give off the most pleasant hum. As time wore on, Art's work began to look jagged and stark. It took on an edge. Art himself began to change. Dark circles appeared beneath his eyes, and his hair grew long and wild, and his thin body became rangy and crooked. Everyone noticed the changes in the sky. At first, they liked what they saw. Change was a novelty. It was not long, however, before everyone began to clamor for the old softness, grandeur, simple beauty that had just gone missing. They chanted and shouted and sent up planes to skywrite their messages of discontent. Now his work was not only ugly, but it was covered with graffiti as well. Fox had a keen sense of smell. He knew the sweet scent of success and also the sour odor of failure, and he began to turn his nose up at Art. Well, boy, it seems that it's time we part company, he told Art one afternoon. I have done all that I can for you. Unfortunately, you've just burnt your candle at both ends, and you're nothing but a nasty puddle of wax yourself. So long, Fox said, and he was gone in a blink. Art looked up at the sky in sadness. It was dark and polluted and ugly. He'd made a mess of things, and he was in despair. He put his head down and he cried himself to sleep. In his dreams, he saw a beautiful light shimmering far off across a dark sea. He was in a little boat and paddling with all his might towards it. But no matter how hard he paddled, he didn't make any headway. Stop paddling, said a voice in his ear. I can't stop, he said breathlessly. I'll never get anywhere that way. Stop paddling. Cast away your oars, said the voice. See what happens. Deciding that nothing could be worse than drifting in the darkness, Art tossed away the oars and watched them float away. Now, look at me, for I am the light in the distance, said the voice. Keep your eyes only on me. Art listened and obeyed the voice, and suddenly the boat began to move. Slowly at first, but then at a good clip. The sky grew lighter and lighter until Art was moving along the wide blue waters under a blue sky. The salty air cleared his head. The warmth of the sun sank into him, and it seemed to heal his tired body. Now, awake. Light your candle and begin a new day, said the voice. From now on, listen only to my voice. See only my light, and follow where my current takes you. Then will you find your work pure and beautiful again. Art awoke in darkness, laid his hand unerringly on the book of matches, lit his candle, and painted a sunrise more glorious than any that the universe had ever seen. There's so many Fox out there these days, aren't there? And it's really hard because their voices get louder and louder. So I'm going to just do 2 stories tonight. The second story is from my second book, called Tell Me Another Story. And this is a really cool cover, by the way. Anyone who's ever bought Celestial Seasonings tea, the artist who makes all of those tea boxes, consented to do this design. So this one is for all the sailors, for all those who love the sea, and for those of us who maybe think that being a little wave isn't as good as making big waves in the world. And it's called the Emerald Wave. The sky was bright and blue, the waters a wide, flat calm on the ocean of life the day that the littlest wave made its wish. To be big and strong and powerful, the wave said to the open sky. That's what I want. I want to be the most powerful wave in the world. Two large gray clouds appeared across the blank face of the sky and seemed to furrow heaven's brow. Not a good wish, my friend, came the voice of the sky that seemed to burst from all around. Why don't you try another one, eh? But the little wave was all churned up inside. It had spent its whole life lapping at the ankles of children and frothing lightly in the sun. It could not be ridden like its brothers, and it could not strike terror like its mother or father. No, I want to be better than a little wave, it said. I want to be an emerald wave, a wave of power. Now the sky darkened with concern. An emerald wave was one, so high, so mighty, that when a sailor looked at its face, the sun could be seen shining through its eclipse, the brightest, most murderous gem ever hurled by the seven seas. The little wave waited pensively for the answer. So be it, came the voice, and the sky went black. The wind began to cry out and churn the waters. Night fell, and a full moon took the place of the sun. The little wave felt the pull of that moon, and it began to swell. Higher and higher and wider it grew. The wave felt the rush of power. It felt joy and wonder at its new strength. Yes, yes, it shouted with delight. This is what I've always wanted, to rise high above it all, to know that nothing can harm me. Everyone who looks upon my face will know my power, for I am no longer a child's playground. The wave grew to enormous height. Just then the dawn broke, and the wave looked out upon the seas and down, down to one of the small islands where it had been just a froth. Look at me now, it thundered. But the wave's moment of glory was cut short by a hard shove from behind. It was the wind. It lashed the back of the wave, driving it faster and faster. The wave felt a ripple of panic as it realized it was being driven. Hey, stop! It cried. Well, what are you doing? I'm supposed to be in control here. The wind howled with laughter. Oh, no, my friend, the wind corrected. You were to be big and powerful, and so you are. Because it was power that you took from another, it is power that another controls. And the wind whipped the wave even harder. Then the sun moved behind the wave and shone fiercely. The giant wave now cast an emerald light that fell like a laser upon the shore of the island where the children played in the tide pools and the ripples. With a sudden shock, the wave recognized the children whose ankles it had tickled the day before, and it realized that being among them had made it feel warm and alive and loved. The children, they loved to play in the little waves. The wave had been loved for its gentleness, but now it saw those that had loved it cast in this sickly green light. It was overcome with a chill sense of emptiness and fear. Please, it cried out to the wind and the sky, please, let me break now. Don't use me to do the harm to the ones that I love. I was wrong to make this wish. Release me, spare the island, and I will never wish again. Make not a promise that you cannot keep, thundered the sky. Say that you wish to grow in your own way, and perhaps I shall consider. The wave felt the drive of the wind and heard the screams of those it was about to crush beneath it. It made a new wish. Please, please let me be a humble wave again, and I will be the best that I can be, and no more and no less. For one terrible moment more, the wind blew and the moon tugged and the wave hung high in the emerald sky. And then the wind stopped and the moon turned its face away until it was just the ghost of a crooked smile in the blue heavens. And instantly, the wave collapsed and became but a ripple on the vast ocean of life. The children ceased their crying and gasped in wonder at the change. Then they jumped and splashed in glee at the return of their old friend and the safety and joy it brought. The little wave rolled in to the shore and whispered over their legs, mumbling a song of the sea to repeat and repeat for all time. Little wave, drift in, drift out. Better a spray of diamond foam than an emerald giant without a heart or a home. Those are the two I kind of felt like we needed tonight. Thank you so much. Everybody stay safe. Keep painting the sunsets and the sunrises. Don't listen to the fox. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Be a little wave. Sparkle. Good night.